Today we're going to talk about unhealthy patterns, how to recognize them, and possibly how to work with them or break them in just a minute. Hey guys, I'm Mel from Melsdivination. I'm the owner, the operator, and the creator here. Today is Witchy Wednesday, so we are going over something that is based on the energy realm of things. We do witchcraft, we do spirituality, we do new age, we do divination, and the list is pretty extensive here. So if you're interested in any of that kind of content, check the channel out. There's lots of information for free here already. Now, we also do Flip Through Fridays, and we do astrology on the weekends, and I do live tarot readings, which I do not usually announce. So if you want to catch me live, definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell. You can find me at melsdivination.com if you're looking for any kind of readings or blog posts or additional information that I offer. Let's talk about recognizing and breaking unhealthy patterns. Why did I decide to talk about this? I was actually inspired to do this video because I have many clients with readings that I do coaching with that tend to repeat patterns and they don't realize that they're doing it. And I am guilty for this as well, which is why I have my own mentors and coaches. But this is kind of human nature in general, and we can do things that we don't even notice that we're doing, and it can become a problem because it's a habit, and it can get in the way of us having successful situations. The thing that inspired this was specifically about relationships. However, this video specifically isn't going to be just about relationships. And I do feel it'll probably end up being a series of videos. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet, but this is to kind of introduce the topic and get the idea out there. So unhealthy patterns are basically behaviors or habits that are harmful to our physical, mental, or emotional states, and it can be difficult to break. But it's important to do so in order to have a healthier and a happier, higher functioning life. Recognizing unhealthy patterns, it definitely depends on what the pattern is that you are working on, but a few hints that you might be stuck in one could include feeling stuck or unable to move forward, feeling negative or unhappy the majority of the time, experiencing physical pain or symptoms, having difficulty sleeping or eating, using unhealthy coping mechanisms such as drugs or alcohol. When I talk about unhealthy coping mechanisms, this could be a lot more than just drug or alcohol. It's just an example. Unhealthy coping mechanisms can be anything from gambling to being a workaholic to working out too much to Netflix and chilling to vegging out on video games, and can even be about sex, like being addicted to sex. It's anything to escape. Escapism is basically the way that I see it. So you may be not noticing things. You can also excuse behaviors and logically excuse it to yourself of, well, this is why I'm doing it, without realizing that it's not the healthiest thing to do. Breaking unhealthy patterns can be challenging, but it is possible. A few tips are identifying your triggers. What situations or things trigger you and your unhealthy patterns? Once you know what your triggers are, you can avoid them or develop strategies for coping. Realistic goal setting is big. Don't try to change everything all at once. Realistic goals help you achieve things, especially if you start small. Have a support system of some kind, friends, family, therapist, somebody that can help point out to you that maybe you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. And really practicing self-care, making sure that you're taking care of yourself physically and emotionally, and it includes healthy eating, getting enough sleep, and moving regularly. Just an example of an unhealthy pattern that I have noticed a lot in people that I read for. There's two of them that I notice frequently. One is a client, and this is multiple clients. This isn't one in particular. This is kind of a summary, who is going after an unavailable person. Now, this unavailable person could be emotionally unavailable. They could literally be unavailable because they're in a relationship or they are married, or maybe they're unavailable because of their circumstance. Whatever it is, they're unavailable. And I have multiple clients that don't recognize that. They want this person at all costs, no matter the situation. Now, it's okay to want your person. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're trying to get somebody to end a marriage that they just got into because you want them, or if you're trying to force somebody to cheat on their wife and they literally don't want anything to do with that, that's pretty unhealthy. Maybe you go from person to person waiting for them to do their potential, to reach their potential, and they never actually do. And you're selling yourself a story that isn't really what's happening. That's an unhealthy pattern. And maybe you're sitting there going, why does this keep happening to me? Well, it keeps happening to you because of you. There's something that you're doing. You are the common denominator. So I'm not attacking anybody. I have been guilty of having plenty of unhealthy patterns myself because I am a human. But what helps is when you have somebody notice these things and point it out to you, like people pleasing, oversharing information. Like that person didn't need to know that. You didn't need to contact them. You didn't need to explain yourself to them. Things like that. Those are all patterns that can be shifted, but you gotta catch them and you gotta have somebody help you catch them sometimes, right? So this is sort of like a working on a coaching situation of trying to break things or change things that you don't even notice you're doing. Unhealthy patterns can show up in all areas of our lives. It can show up in coworkers, in bosses, in working environments. It can show up in our most intimate relationships. It can show up in friendships, and it can show up just in our own relationship with ourselves. So it's, like I said, it's unique for everybody, and that's why I just wanted to start with this. But it's definitely situations that I have noticed, particularly working with people who are trying to get into a healthy relationship, that keep making similar choices over and over again for in whatever situation they're in. It's unique for everybody, but they don't catch that this is why. This is why. It is this behavior and this choice and this action that is causing this result. I really wanted to talk about why it's important to catch these things, and shadow work is a big part of it as well. But it's important to try to work on ourselves, to reflect and to look at things, because if we don't, we will stay in the same situation, whatever that situation is. And that's great if you're in a healthy situation. But if you're in something that you're unhappy with and it's not changing and it's not progressing, whatever that is, and you can't figure it out, there's probably a reason for that. I'm not saying everything is your fault, because it's not. But most of our interactions with other people happen because of a daily thing or something that we've chosen. And if we're choosing a certain action or behavior or attitude or wording or whatever, then we're going to get that same result over and over. Like people pleasing, or allowing somebody to gaslight us, or not having boundaries. All of that is part of it, okay? I hope this helps you. Breaking unhealthy patterns can take some time, so be gentle with yourself. It's worth it though, and following these tips can help you start living a healthier, happier life. Obviously, this is scratching the surface. This is not major information that is like, oh my God, you're fixed now. Doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that for anybody. So there's that. But just like wanting to try to catch the thing that you're doing, figure it out. By taking that time to really look at things, that is going to make a world of difference than that unhealthy coping stuff where you're just head down and you're going and you're avoiding. Sometimes we can't avoid, especially if we want a certain outcome. We can't avoid. We have to look at what's causing that. All right, guys, I hope that helped you. Comment down below if you want more information around this. I would love to hear from you, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye.